First, the Russian fur traders were, when they came here in the late 1700s, when they came here, they settled among the Unangan people. And when they did, they married Unangan women. They baptized their children, their own children. And all that was before Father John Veniaminov came in 1824. When he came in 1824, he had already saw that there was already, a Russian presence among the Unangan people. There was always a sense of, in the Unangan culture, there was always, respect, common Unangan laws of, do not murder, do not steal, love your neighbor, forgiveness. All that was already, present among the Unangan culture before Christianity came through the Orthodox faith and Father John Veniaminov in 1824. My mother told me when I was about 5 years old is when I became an altar server in the altar room helping the late Father Ishmael Gromov. There was a period after Father Ishmael passed away in the early 90s. We would get visiting priests from Anchorage. The late Father Paul Merkulyev was one of them. Every time he would come for Pascha, the late Starosta Nikolai Lekhanov would tell me to come into the altar to help out, to help the priest with the services. So that is what I remember as a kid. I was inspired to, want to become a deacon. I was inspired to learn to become more involved in the Orthodox faith through service of the church and clergy. It started when I was really young, and I don't even remember those years. Even when there was no priest, he would always bring me to church on Sundays and to bring me to church. And I remember in St. Innocent's Chapel helping in the choir, as a kid. I didn't know how to sing or anything, but my mom would hand me the book and say, "Here, follow along." I was surrounded by, a lot of love and support. I often tell people I grew up in the altar, and up until our late beloved Father Bordokovsky, Peter, had signed me off and sent me off to seminary in 2001. I was ordained a deacon in February of 2007, and in June of 2007 I became a priest.
Every Saturday and every Sunday we went to church. Always went to church, our whole family. Dressed up in dresses, went to church. And we had to wear a scarf. And the women stood on that side and the men stood on this side. Look how small that church looks.
Oh, it's tiny.
Yes,
it is.
So
big.
I
was
know.
a kid.
Look how tiny it is. Everybody went to church. The whole village went to church. Everybody went to church. Saturday night and Sunday. Yeah, my dad was right there and I was right here. My mom never came up here. I don't know, maybe she was too shy. It did bring back a lot of memories because my dad was so involved and he always went to church. Both my parents always went to church, and all of us kids always went to church. No excuse for staying home, and it just flooded memories of the singing in Russian and how they celebrated. Almost start crying. It just kind of was overwhelming for me for a while, just standing up there in the choir part. I feel like it was my foundation, biblically. Seeing the Russian hymns and everything on their shelf right there, and all the icons that are there are still there. The same ones are still there. Yeah. My dad was, he read Russian and didn't read English, write English, so he always read the Russian Bible, always at home, every day. Because it's been a long time since I've been here. It's so good to be back, see everybody.
Hey, Evon!
There's kind of a stigma with the Orthodox Church here in the cathedral here in Unalaska is that this is the native church. And by all means it is not. You know, this is the Orthodox faith. It is, we don't close our doors to nobody. In that, you know, the Orthodox faith is for everybody. And to be a part of it is a great joy and an honor to be a part of this, you know, great undertaking for our stories to be told and our faith and our culture to be shared with the world. It is an honor, and thank you.